Hi everyone, welcome to Shoot the Shit. I'm joined once again with James Oliver.
Hi, I bet you didn't think to have me back this soon, did you?
I know. This is probably like the quickest I've put them out as well.
I know, it's great.
It's only like been a week.
Yes!
But we have a very important thing to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
Which is the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino.
Yep.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So we're going to have a wee discussion about that. Full spoilers, by the way, so if you haven't seen the film, don't watch this.
Just stop now.
Yeah, go watch it, because it's a great film.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll probably also delve into some of the other Tarantino things in the past and just see where this conversation takes us.
If it's anything like last time, it'll go to weird places.
Yeah,
So,
most likely.
Just expect that, okay?
And we're not sponsored by Pepsi Max, but if they want to sponsor us, they can.
Please, by all means. Refresh.
So before we even get into talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I want to ask, what was your first Tarantino experience?
Ooh, first Tarantino experience, if I can remember this correctly, it was Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's quite late in the game, though.
It is, yeah. And then I worked my way backwards. So,
Yeah.
So I watched that and I was like, this is really fun. And then I was like, what else has this guy done? And everyone was like, you fucking kidding me? And I was like, really?
Have you not seen?
Yeah. It only took me until, no joke, about maybe 2 years ago before I actually saw Pulp Fiction. I'll let myself out.
Yeah, that's like a childhood film for me.
I'll see myself, yeah. The car's out there, it's fine. So I kind of, I do this with films. Like, I'll watch something and I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
People are like, no, but have you seen this, or that? And I'm like, no, and they're like,
everything that leads up to this.
Yeah. So, henceforth why people say I can't really call myself a film reviewer, because I haven't seen any of the classics.
Right, then you see all the new ones, though, so it sort of makes up for it.
It kind of does, you know.
Yeah, like, you work in the cinema and you get to see movies for free, so you
know
just,
what I mean?
like, go all the
Yeah,
time.
I just like, anything like nofties onwards is kind of like my field of expertise.
I'm lucky if I get to see, like, a film in the cinema, like, once a month. No.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
every time I go, I'm like, yay!
It's
But
just
as soon as
so
I seen Once Upon a Time for Hollywood coming out, I was like, me and my dad, I was like, we're going to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's the sort of, he introduced me to Tarantino. And we went to see, like, Inglourious Bastards and all together, so I was like, right, we'll go see this together. It's like that and Star Wars is something we'll always go to see together.
Me and my sister's the same, like Star Wars.
Yeah.
The two of us, or like about 10 of us. We'll just pile in.
A whole group.
Yeah,
That's the way we are as well. I think my first Tarantino experience was actually after watching From Dusk Till Dawn, whenever I was about 5.
Nice.
And
how can you recollect that? It's like,
I remember it was like, my uncle had it on videotape and I was staying at my granny and granddad's, and he was still living there at the time, or he had just moved out and all his tapes were still there. It was like that and Mallrats and all. That's how I really got into my sort of stuff.
Nice.
And I remember watching that, and I said to my dad about it, and he's like, yeah, it's a great film. Have you seen Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, maybe when you're a bit older, we'll watch them. But it was like a couple of weeks later or whatever.
It's like, stick it on there, son.
Yeah. It might not have been 5, like it could have been like 7 or 8, but that was sort of how I got into Tarantino, and then everything from there. Apart from Jackie Brown, I only watched fully for the first time this year.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because I'd seen it in my granny's once, because I was staying there for some reason. It was on TV. There was breaks in between. It's a long film that you need to sort of keep attention to.
Yeah.
And whenever there's breaks in between that sort of film, you're like just zone out. I was like, I'm too young to understand this film.
There's something about a car on the
they're talking all about brokers and all and bonds, and I'm like, I don't have a clue.
It's, I guess it's confusing me.
Yeah. So it was only this year I was able to actually appreciate Jackie Brown for what it was.
Also, for those born in the millennial terms, a videotape is also known as a VHS. Mm-hmm. It's what we watched stuff on, or watched films on before DVDs came into existence.
We watched them on a VCR.
Yes, a video player or a cassette player.
I have. That's not a cassette player. It's something completely different.
Okay.
A cassette is like a music tape.
Oh crap! Yeah. Edit that out. Yeah.
These videos don't get edited.
Yay! Yes, every day.
The only thing that happens in these videos is the start and the end get cut off, so there's no crap.
Well, basically, you couldn't skip scenes like you can do in DVDs.
Yeah.
You want to get to your favorite scene, you got to press that rewind button or fast forward.
Yep. And then if you wanted to get some shot of some titties or something, you had to
to
press pause
and
try and get the image where it was going. You're saying, oh.
Man, look at them titties.
Might have just been me.
Static. No, I'm pretty sure that. There's like, yeah, first experience of porn. That.
It wasn't even like anything bad. It was like watching Mallrats whenever your woman with the 3 nipples gets her tits out, and you're like, boobs.
Alright, Total Recall.
Yeah, the 3 boobs. But yeah, so we're going off track again there.
Yeah, just swiftly going
through about childhood memories.
Them were the days.
They were the days. So I think we'll get into talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then we'll talk about other things as we go on.
Yeah.
One of my initial thoughts of it was, how are they going to tackle the subject matter of Once Upon a... Because it was... Whenever we first heard about it, it came out as, Quentin Tarantino is doing a Charlie Manson movie.
Yeah.
It's not a Charlie Manson movie, really.
No,
It's not.
No.
It's just based in that same time, and there are all those elements there in the background.
Yep.
But it is mainly a day in the life of Rick Dalton.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth. This is pretty much a film solely based on these two, and solely based on, well, as Darren said, a day in the life.
Yeah.
So you literally just follow them about, and you're just watching them the whole time. It's kind of weird because it's one of them films that doesn't necessarily have a plot point to it. No. It's more just this, like, a flow of consciousness. Like, here's these two guys, here's how you get to know them, here's what they do, and go. And that's literally it for about the next, like, 2 hours, 41 minutes.
Yeah. I think I watched an interview of Tarantino, and he said, like, he was trying to figure out where this story was, the story and all, what was going to be, all these different plot points and all. And he's like, I feel like these characters are so interesting on them by themselves that just following them will be the film, which it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's 100% accurate because you don't need, like, I mean, I had friends go to see it, they enjoyed it, said it wasn't his best work, which is fine. Like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. For me, I just loved it. Like, I love films that aren't overcomplicated. Well, sorry, I say that. I love Inception and whatnot, but you know what I mean? Like, they don't try and throw a lot at you. They're just like, here's these characters, you'll get to know them, and
that's what's good about it, is you do get to know them as it goes on. Especially through, like, subtle little flashbacks and all, and it's great how Tarantino has a way of putting Rick Dalton in the shoes of other people in history who've done certain things. Yeah, and they're like, nah, in this movie, my character did these things.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. There's one... Okay, first spoiler. There's one throwaway scene where Timothy Olyphant's character, who's on set with Dalton, is walking up to him, and he's like, "Oh, you know, it's a pleasure to have you on set. Really glad you could be here." And he sits down next to him and he goes, "You know, did I hear you were in the running for this film?" I'll leave that film to be, just a wee thing,
because it's really good to see.
Yeah, but it's and then it cuts away to that film, but it's the exact same scenes, except it's just Leonardo DiCaprio portraying Rick Dalton, portraying this character, and you're like, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
That's what I think that Leonardo DiCaprio was saying, was it was kind of hard to get his head wrapped around the idea of acting as an actor, finding it hard to act.
That's like a conundrum.
It took a bit of a minute for him to, like, sort of get it into his head. I think it was the same interview as well. Brad Pitt was saying, like, or was it Leonardo DiCaprio who said, like, they asked him what sort of direction have you got from Tarantino and all, and he's like, he just sort of goes, just fucking do it.
Yeah, I saw that interview actually. And they're like, okay, cool, no worries. Just yell cut when we're done. Sweet.
I think in this film as well, Brad Pitt's character is just so ice cool.
Yeah. He's just like a cool guy.
So fucking stern, straight, fucking, you wouldn't fuck with him.
I want to be Cliff Booth. That's or Brad Pitt, either or.
You just want to be
any of them guys. Like, they're just cool guys. They're like hip motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, he's really good in this here. So it's just the way he portrays himself and all, like the way he walks and all, he won't take shit. And there's a scene with him and Bruce Lee, and it's fucking hilarious.
So, the funny thing is, though, with this scene, I don't know if you'd heard about it, but his daughter got real upset. But after now having, because I kind of thought, right, watching the scene, I was like, what, is there like some comment that's made that's like racist or something like that? And then I watched the scene, and the way the scene takes place, for those of you, well, this is spoiler, so if you've watched this far, it's your own fault. But it's a daydream of what could have happened. Yeah. So I was like, I don't really see what all the fuss is about, getting upset about, because it's just a daydream of what could have happened.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale.
If Cliff had went to the lot to film with him.
This movie is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Hence the title.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
But I think she got pissed off because of how Bruce Lee was portrayed as so arrogant and up his own hole.
But apparently that is what.
Yeah, that's what
from
Tarantino
various
said.
sources. Yeah, that's
He was
what
like,
it was.
it didn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, it's
the
like,
characteristics of him.
Yeah.
So, but I can imagine Bruce Lee being that much of a twat, like while playing Kato in the Green Hornet.
It's when he throws him into the car.
And Soy Bell comes out, they're like, what the fuck?
It's like, that's my car!
Yeah. It's also in the same scene as well. We see fucking Kurt Russell playing another stuntman, because he played Stuntman Mike in Death Proof. And then he plays this stuntman in this, and a lot of people are speculating, was Stuntman Mike his son? But then Tarantino has also went on to say that Kill Bill and Death Proof are films within his film universe.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That is pretty cool, actually.
He has his film universe.
Wow.
And then within that universe of films, there's movies, Kill Bill and Death Proof being two of those films.
He's definitely playing Inception with us right now.
Oh,
That's a head fuck.
Yeah, it was I don't know, I think it was a theory for many, many years, and then Tarantino came out himself and he was like, yeah, that is how it is. These are films that the Vega brothers would have went to see.
Yeah, that is class, actually.
So it's really well done. I think you can sort of tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Because they're so over the top.
Oh, yeah.
Kill Bill and the other ones, whereas the other films are quite grounded in reality in a way.
That line that Brad Pitt comes off of, it's like, what the fuck happened to my car? He ran his mouth, so I threw a little prick into it. It's just like, that's fantastic.
I don't know. It's just so quick.
Yeah, it's just so like off the cuff, and you're just like, yeah. And then it kind of pops back to him on the roof fixing Dalton's like Ariel. He's like, yeah, probably not. I
don't know. And then you have Margot Robbie. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep forgetting what her first name is. But she plays Sharon Tate, who is a real life character, a real life person.
Yep.
And if you know your history, and if you know murders, Charles Manson, all, you know what happened to her.
Yeah.
And in Roman Polanski's house, I'm pretty sure it was hers and Roman Polanski's house.
Yeah.
With her friends, and it's history, so they get killed by the Manson family.
What I found really interesting was that, and like really cool, like the way Tarantino kind of wove this all together, was that Rick Dalton is Sharon Tate's neighbor.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's clever.
Yeah, it's done really well.
Yeah, it's it could have been anything else. It could have probably come up with something else if he wanted to, but just something so subtle.
That's the most subtle thing.
Yeah, it's like, next door neighbor. Yeah, it's so biggie. And even they get like excited because there's one night they're driving home and they pull up in the his driveway, and both Rick and Cliff are like, holy shit, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, like what? And I was like, that's cool. Like,
that was done really well. So it was, but that's what the whole film. Whenever you're watching it, you're feeling this tension. Yeah. Knowing the history, like real life history.
Knowing where it goes,
Yeah. So the film's going to go there some point.
Oh yeah.
But whenever you're first introduced to Sharon Tate, she's just really bubbly and dancing all the time. Like, I don't even know if she properly speaks. For the first couple of scenes, she's just dancing.
It's just like...
There's also in those scenes that you're introduced to like a stupid amount of people, real life people.
Oh yeah.
Like Mama Cass from Mamas and Papas and all, and they did California Dreamin', and fucking Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
It's played from the dude that was in Homeland and stuff.
Fun fact, I don't know if you read this or not, but I only read this the other day. The guy who plays Charles Manson is the same guy who plays him in the Mindhunter. Yeah, I was like, that's 2. Class. I was like, that's really well done.
That's another thing as well. For this film being so heavily influenced by the Manson murders in a way, especially with the marketing. Charles Manson's in it for one scene.
Yep. That
lasts about 2 minutes if you're lucky.
Yeah, literally.
But then you feel his presence throughout the rest of the scenes with the Manson family.
Yeah, and it's that scene. I'm just gonna turn my phone on silent real quick because that went off and I was like, ah, shit. So that scene in particular with the Manson family, I was like, because you knew you had like a cult following and stuff. If you know your history, you know what they were just weirdos. But
bunch of hippies.
Yeah. And so again, you're thinking, right? There's more of them. So where did this come into it? How did they get introduced? And again, it's through something so subtle as Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. So Cliff Booth picking up a
hitchhiker.
like a hitchhiker, and it turns out to be one of his many followers.
And then that also is Cliff Booth taking the role of somebody that actually happened in real life. It was one of the Beach Boys picked up a hitchhiker.
Oh.
He picked up 2 hitchhikers actually, and they brought him back to the Manson
I did not know that.
farm.
Okay, that's cool.
And then he got really involved with Charles Manson and all, so he did in a weird way.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was good as well because the Manson family really were at that lot that they used to film like westerns and stuff on.
Yeah.
And they really did go into this guy's house who was blind and stuff.
And just accommodate it.
Yeah, and Dakota Fanning plays Squeaky, and apparently the reason she was called that in real life was because the guy would squeeze her thigh and she would squeak, which is really creepy and weird because he is old as fuck.
Yeah, there's a bit worrying actually. Yeah. Also, not gonna lie, Dakota Fanning, nah, like she's lost it for me completely. Like, I'm sorry, but
I didn't even know it was her for a while, and then sort of twigged. I was like, whoa.
I was like, why couldn't you got your sister Elle Fanning? Much more beautiful. Sorry, I shouldn't hate on Dakota, but I mean, the past...
You're just being biased because you love thing.
Possibly, yeah. No, don't know what you're on about. But Dakota Fanning hasn't done a bloody good film since Man on Fire, when she was a child, alright? So, fucking challenge me on that, anyone, I dare you to.
The Runaways wasn't too bad. Have you seen it?
No, actually, I haven't seen
it. You can't comment then.
Yeah, but like anything else, like post, 2000 and... Well, when was Runaways? I don't know when.
Oh fuck, that was a good couple of years ago.
Yeah,
like, I was whenever she was like 16 or something when she filmed that.
Okay, well there you go. She's like my age now, or just
about
25. So yeah, anything in the past 10 years it's been in, because she did one with Ewan McGregor and Jennifer Connelly called American Pastoral, and it's just about like it's just like plays an environmentalist and you're like save the trees sort of thing.
Alright.
Yeah, so she blows up a post office and then it's like a manhunt basically for her. But it's based on this really like this award-winning book, and I was like, oh okay, the trailer looked class. I was like, I can't wait to get it. Had to wait in DVD, bought the DVD. Wish I never spent the money on it.
No,
it's shit. Like the story just it just goes nowhere, and I'm like, yeah. So I was like, no, Dakota, you're right.
She's like,
yeah,
fair enough. Also, whenever we are first introduced to the Manson family, the bunch of hippie girls, like garbage hunting, they are singing a song that Charles Manson actually wrote.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, and also one of the girls in that scene is Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So so many little like tweaks,
just
and
wee things
here,
thrown in,
just sprinkled. That you're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting the fact that they were actually singing one of Charles Manson's real life songs.
That's creepy now. Like that's just weird.
Yeah.
Because it's a creepy song.
Yeah.
Like it's a really upbeat, happy song, but at the same time you're like, you kind of twig on before you're introduced to the whole family, like who they are and what they're involved with.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there listening to it like, oh.
It gives it a creepy undertone, so it does, if you know that.
And it's like, don't like it.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's whenever Cliff is at the ranch with the girls.
Yeah.
That we really get a feel for the Manson family, and the tension just grows for that whole scene. And then it dies down, but it grows again. And fucking hell. It's just...
Yeah, because you're like, right, what's going on here? So, Cliff walks into the house because he used to know the guy knows the guy who lives there. And he used to shoot films for him back in the day. And Squeaky is then like, oh yeah, you can't go see him, he's napping. And he's like, oh no, I think I'll just go in anyway. And at this point I thought it was maybe Manson going to be there and maybe like they'd kill him off or something.
Yeah.
And like you say, the tension just grows and grows, and then he walks into the bedroom, and you're like, oh, I don't like what's going to happen. And then he just wakes the guy up.
Yeah.
And they just have a conversation.
And the guy's like, what the fuck are you doing waking me up?
Yeah, and it's like, what?
Yeah, because the whole time he's being told he's sleeping.
Yeah, like
he's going to wake up later to watch his shows and all. And then he goes in, and that's exactly what the guy says. And Cliff Booth's like, oh, alright then.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then he leaves again, and at this point, all the like girls have like dispersed. They've all went away except for the one who he picked up.
Pussycat.
Yeah, and weird name.
Yeah.
It's just like oh yeah, you embarrassed me. And it's just like, oh, I don't care. It's like clean walks through, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
I know. And then one of the fellas there decides to stick a knife in his tire, and that scene just, I fucking laughed my ass off. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Just beats the other hell out of him.
Because he's just like sitting on the fence, and he's like, that's not my car, it's my boss's car, fix it. And the guy's like, fuck you. And then he just walks over and like uppercuts him. Just breaks his nose.
Yeah. It was so
and he's like, fix it.
Yeah. And then the girls all start walking closer, and he grabs them by the hair. He's like, "You just take another step, I'm gonna knock his fucking teeth out." It's just so cool.
Yeah.
I also love Cliff Booth, going back to his character. The subtle little backstory that you have to make your own mind up about with him.
You're talking about the one where he like killed his wife,
Yeah.
supposedly. Yeah.
Everybody's a bit weary of Cliff Booth because everybody says he killed his wife and got away with it on a boat.
Yeah.
Which also goes back to another death. I can't remember the actress's name. I think it's Mia something, but I could be completely wrong. She died on a boat, and her husband and Christopher Walken were on the boat at the same time.
Oh shit!
And nobody knows what actually happened that night.
That's weird.
Yeah, so I think I was sort of toying on that old story a wee bit.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah, because you see Cliff Booth sort of pointing a harpoon gun at
like
her.
a harpoon gun
and she's just slobbering, and then it cuts, and you're like, did he or didn't he?
Yeah, he just sits down, cracks some of the beer, and he's just sitting there, and then just cuts.
The way she was
like,
talking,
what?
I would have pulled the trigger, like, no doubt about it.
I don't know if he killed her, but I would have fucked the beer in her head. It's like, shut up.
Well, like the dog food. We'll get into
We'll
that.
get to that later on. Yeah, that's I haven't cried so much with laughter in a long time. Like that was brilliant. Yeah.
So yeah, but I think one of the, going back to Rick Dalton's character, really does follow him as an actor who was big in his time, and then with the progression of film, out of TV, because he was a TV actor, he just didn't fit the mold.
No.
And he's doing all these pilots, and he's doing guest star roles on shows. One of the guest star one of the guest starring roles is in a real life show, FBI.
Yeah.
And he actually took the place of Burt Reynolds' character in that show.
That's cool.
So he did, which I thought was done quite well. Just to clarify as well, I didn't know all this stuff going into the film. It was only afterwards.
Okay.
Afterwards, I was like, was that real? So I was like trying to do a wee bit of research afterwards. I was like, oh, so that was Burt Reynolds' thing. And then I tried to just pass the knowledge along to other people. I'm not some weirdo like Quentin Tarantino, just knows fucking everything about films. I do my research afterwards.
I was gonna say, that's damn well impressive. Did you
know? I don't want to people start asking me other questions like, I don't know. Watch a YouTube video.
Here I am. I just bought a ticket, went on, came out. I was like, I liked it.
That's it. You have to give me a couple of days to learn some stuff about it, and then I can talk about it.
Research, yay. Yeah. The scene where he fucks up his lines and he goes back into the cabin, and he's looking at his mirror reflection. And he's like, "You're gonna quit drinking." Fucking quit drinking. And then he pulls out a hip flap. So he's like, "No!" And he throws out the door.
That was all DiCaprio.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, like improv?
Yeah.
That's class.
It was his idea as well. Originally, he wasn't meant to fuck up his lines. And DiCaprio was like, what if he does? And Tarantino was like, yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. It goes to show you how good DiCaprio is coming up with that sort of stuff.
Because then he goes back in there, he goes, "You goddamn embarrass yourself for all those people, fuck!" And he's really upset with himself.
Yeah, it's done so well. This should have been the movie he won an Oscar for, not The Revenant.
Nah,
because that movie was okay at best.
That's a whole other discussion. I think it was literally the panel sat down and were like, right, listen lads, we don't give it to him this year, we are fucked. We are going to get so much hate mail. Yeah, Caprio, Revenant, sure, why not?
Why not? That bear scene, mate.
Yeah, even though everybody knew it should have been Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, it should have been.
Should have been. But I can't remember who won it that year, actually, instead.
Wolf of Wall Street? Fuck, I can't remember. I really can't remember. The last one I remember winning was Moonlight, whenever they fucked it up with La La Land.
That was the best thing I've ever witnessed.
Birdman was the year before that, I think. And after that, I just sort of stopped watching the Oscars and stopped caring about them.
That fuck up is literally the best one I've witnessed in my life right now.
And I feel bad for Warren Beatty because he got so much hate for it. And he's like, mate, I got the wrong fucking letter. Because he said Emma Stone first.
Yeah, and then everyone was like, what?
Like, that's not the way it should have been.
Yeah, but it's so funny because he had a film that was coming out called like Cafe Society or something that he directed.
Right.
I was like, well, nobody's gonna go see that now, Warren. After what you did, nobody. Yeah, it's
your career is.
Yeah, it's like, mate, I would just hide right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the fact that the whole cast got up.
No, and then the guy was like, no. Moonlight one, this isn't a joke.
Yeah, because people thought he was just being really sincere, being like, oh, yeah, this should have went ahead, you should have won it. And he was like, no, we're not kidding. It's like Moonlight. And I was like, oh.
I was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was
sitting
like,
with some shredded wheat. Like, oh, shredded wheat and a beer.
I think I was just sitting with a bottle of Jack Daniels going, fuck, this has got interesting.
I think I got that far in the night and I was like, I need some sort of substance in me. Shredded wheat. I don't even know if I fucking watered it. I could just been munching on shredded wheat.
Just like dry back. No, but there.
Just wash it down with my beer. It's like, here we go.
It's a horrible mix. Yeah, but that was a shit show.
Yeah. But we're going off topic again. Yeah.
This is what makes these videos great, though. You get onto something, which leads to something else.
Yeah.
Which will lead about several other side stories, and then we'll come back.
I don't even know how. Somebody's trying to call me.
Your phone.
That's gonna vibrate like fuck on the video. Why is she calling me? I'm gonna have to answer.
No, it's alright. It's good.
Hello. Right, so apologies for that interruption. We're back at it now.
You should just keep that in, just going over like tilting the camera.
Yeah,
like,
just, hello. Hello. Yeah, I probably will, to be fair.
It's pretty hilarious.
Because I'll forget about it and then have to put it back in.
Just like point out the conversation, we just get to the point where you're like, hello.
Yeah. No, it's fine for the video. It's the audio that I'm recording separately is going to be a fucking pain in the arse to match up now. So I'll have to get the first part matched up and then the second part matched up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying whenever you have like some audio like muted and you have to sort of like match it up with their lips. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What we were talking about? Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time in Holllywood.
There we go.
So I think the last
what am I doing here? What is
it? No, that scene with Rick Dalton in the trailer was all DiCaprio. Yeah, and then the scene he does after that with the wee girl was just fucking magnificent.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my life. He's just like,
yeah, breaking down.
Fucking Dalton.
Oh.
Good times.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's pretty cool. Can't beat westerns, like.
No, I do like it. I like there's something like slobbering about spaghetti westerns in this film, and I quite enjoy the the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns.
Like, what's wrong with that?
Sergio Leone, was the original guy. He did Once Upon a Time in. What the fuck was his one?
Oh.
He did too. Once Upon a Time in the West. No.
Yeah. No.
He did. I know he did Once Upon a Time in America, but he did one before that, and it was a western. Can't remember what the fuck it's called though.
No idea.
I should know what it is. I really should. But yeah, I think that's what they get this title from as well. Was the Sergio Leone films?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Was that a wee bit wonky, or is it just me?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like that's fine.
Yeah, right. I can't be annoyed going over to fix it. So everybody's watching is just like,
it's like, what's going on here?
But no. I'm trying to think now.
So after that, it gets to more or less the kind. Well, how can I put it? It's like more or less still follows them and stuff. So
yeah,
you know.
The movie kind of carries on with them. He goes and does the spaghetti western type films.
Yeah.
And all he meets this woman. Cliff Booth goes with him. They're away for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they return, and then that's sort of whenever the night of the original Sharon Tate murders.
Yep.
Take place.
It comes up the date and the time. Now to me, I had no idea like the date and the time it took place, so it was just flashing up dates. And I was like, I kind of got what it was doing.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, okay. It's like it's now.
As soon as you hear Kurt Russell's narration, I was like, oh, things are gonna go down.
His narration at the start, that's brilliant. Whenever they're in the restaurant, he's like, oh, my car's getting seen too. He goes, that's shit. That's bullshit.
He was arrested on DUI.
Too many drink driving accidents.
Yeah, he was really good for that.
Yeah, so he starts narrating it from their time away, like for 6 months, coming back, and then it inevitably leads up to a night out with Cliff and Rick. Basically, Rick telling Cliff that, you know, their kind of partnership is like stuntman is ending, and
because he can't afford to really pay for him anymore.
Kind of going forth, so they basically decide to have one last piss up on the other side of town, Sharon Tate and her friends
going to a Mexican restaurant for some dinner.
Pretty much all are doing the exact same thing. They're just getting together, having a good night out. And Sharon Tate is heavily pregnant at this point. And then it kind of, both of them arrive home, so it tells you the time that Rick and Cliff arrived home at. Cliff's dog, what's his name?
Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy is waiting there at home for them. And his wife's sleeping. And Sharon Tate and all get home as well, start pouring some drinks, playing the piano. The play, I forget what song it is. Oh no, the song on the piano that she plays is one of the theme tunes for the film. So it is, and I can't remember the name of the song.
It's the song that's on the trailer of the film. It's Mamas and Cass. Mamas and Papas. And it's the real life sheet music that was found on the piano at the murder
Again,
scene.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And disturbing at the same time. But it's a good song.
It is good. Very good.
I put it on my
California Dream is a good song as well.
Or the Neil Diamond one's pretty good. Brother Love Salvation.
Or
something. I was like, can't beat a bit, Neil.
It's any Tarantino film you're going to get a banging soundtrack, basically.
Especially set in this era. The soundtrack is lit.
Yeah.
So they all get home, and then it kind of cuts away to like a car pulling up into their kind of like their cul-de-sac, and it's three of the Manson family.
Yeah.
It's the guy who you meet earlier in the film, Tax.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah.
Tex.
Yeah.
Fucking Tax.
Tax lad.
Yeah. The only reason I remember that because Cliff Booth is at this point walking his dog, smoking a acid-laced cigarette,
which he picked up earlier from the
one of the
girl Pussycat. So Tex pulls up with two girls. One of the girls, I don't think both of the girls, I don't think you saw it, or maybe you did see one of them earlier.
I don't think you did, actually.
Yeah.
You might have seen them in the crowd, just. There's actually 4 of them that originally pull up. One of them drives away, and the one that drives away is Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter, who's in Stranger Things Season 3.
Don't watch it, so I don't,
but she's one of the main cast in Season 3 of Stranger Things.
Yeah, so she kind of chickens out.
Yeah.
Before that happens, they end up pulling up into the cul-de-sac, and at this point, Rick walks out, and he's like, motherfucking hippies.
Yeah.
Like, fuck's sake.
Because their cars are fucking terrible cars. So like chitty fucking bang bang.
Yeah. So he's like, goddamn hippies out here again.
Yeah.
Like, fucking interrupting my night. Yeah. So he walks out, and he like slams the hood, and he's like, yo, get the fuck. And there's one, and they're like, oh, listen, man, sorry, we're just trying to find somewhere. He's like, I don't care. He's like, back it up the fuck and get away. Yeah. And there's a ginger herd on the front seat looking at him. And he's just like, what the fuck are you looking at, you ginger herd? Fuck it. And I was in tears at this point. And she's just giving him the evils. And he's like, get out. Yeah. So they back
gives
it up.
him the turn around. They're like, no,
reverse down the road. Yeah. So they end up doing that, reversing down the road, parking at the end. And then they kind of decide. Now this is where the twist comes in, because you think they have the plan in mind to murder
Sharon Tate.
Yeah, Sharon Tate.
Yeah, and her friends.
Yeah,
because that's where an old producer, I think, used to live, called Terry.
Yeah.
That Charles Manson was sort of connected with. And
this
guy told him that he wasn't going to have a music career, basically.
They reference that, like, way earlier on whenever you meet Manson for, like, the first time. Because he's like, is Terry here?
Twinkies band.
Yeah, because he's like, is Terry here? And they're like, oh,
no,
he
lived.
Up on the back or whatever, yeah. So they then decide... Because they then realized that was Cliff Booth they were speaking to. They were like, holy shit, like, they're kind of starstruck at this point. They're like, that's Cliff Booth. Like, oh my god, that's class. Oh, did you never see this film? And then they kind of decide just to, well, fuck him.
Yeah, it was because it was like, well, what if we do this thing where we learned our violence from his films, so what if we kill him instead?
Yeah, so they then decide to walk up to the house, and Cliff, like I say, one of them runs off.
Yeah. She drives off because she's like, oh, I forgot my knife. Yeah. And then goes back to the car and fucks off. Originally, in real life, she was down there just to watch. As a lookout.
Yeah.
She never actually drove off or anything.
Fair enough.
I don't think. Yeah. But, yeah. And then before we even get into what actually happened, the idea behind it was they were going to go kill the people in the Sharon Tate's house because they were going to make it look like the Black Panthers had done it, which was a militant black group.
Okay.
And then... they were going to start the race war. That's what it was. This is what was going on. And Charlie Manson said they were going to start a race war.
Okay.
And that's what they called Helter Skelter. So it was. Yeah. So that was the original plan in real life, but
that's
then
all very interesting.
Yeah, in the movie, they go to Rick Dalton's house and he's out listening to music.
Yeah, in his
wee pool on his wee floaty chair.
Yeah.
And Cliff comes
got back
wasted on acid.
Yeah, on acid, wasted.
Trying to feed his dog.
And you see him kind of like, it doesn't kind of display it on screen, but you kind of see, you can tell Cliff's
like
tripped
doing
out because
that
it's like
stuff
this and
like,
all,
yeah.
And it's like, so
there's subtle. I think there's like a subtle sound effect, and kind of like
and he's like
a whooshing sound.
So at this point, the three Manson family members take a side of the house each. So Tex comes in through the front, the girl comes in through the back, and then your other girl goes and gets Rick's wife and like takes her hostage. And so again at this point, even like up until this point, you're like, right, how does this go? And again I thought, okay, they're just gonna get it over and done with, they'll kill Cliff, go out, and I just thought it was gonna be a straight up just violent murder of both of them two.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
That is not what happens.
No.
What transcends and transpires in those next 15 minutes is probably the best thing in film I've seen this year. Like, I pissed myself laughing.
It
like,
was brilliant,
so do you want to explain it, or?
I don't mind. Well, he first goes in, Tex goes in, and Cliff Booth, he's pointing the gun at Cliff Booth, and Cliff Booth is sitting there wasted, and he's laughing his ass off at this whole situation. And he kind of goes like, I know you, and he sort of remembers where he's from, and he calls him Rex at first.
Yeah.
And then the other girl comes in and is like, Tex, just shoot him, and he's like, that's where I remember you, Tex. And then the guy Tex, he's like, I'm the devil, I'm here to do the devil's business, which is apparently the real words that Tex said going into the Sharon Tate house before they all got murdered. And then he looks like he's about to pull the trigger on Cliff, but then Cliff gets his fucking
dog
to he goes
it literally just goes and it just then kicks off. So Brandy attacks Tex, and when we say attacks, like proper Tarantino style attacks, like is ripping his arm, his balls, his leg, everything.
Dark haired girl
runs. She just, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe trying to be more intimidating, she just lifts a knife, screams, charges Cliff, and Cliff still has the dog tin in his hand from earlier, and I mean proper baseball launches it, and you just see her face like explode, like it just
her nose
busts her, and she's like, she just starts flailing about the place. Rick's wife then just turns to Judgment and goes, hey you, and smacks her clean in the face. So Tex then gets, Tex basically gets mauled by the dog, and then he's in like the doorway, and Cliff just walks over and just goes behind, stomps his face in. The girl is still flailing about the place running. Don't know why, like the dog stopped attacking her at this stage, and yet she's just...
because the dog goes and then attacks her and rips her face to shreds.
I think it's just she's freaking out. She's like, the ginger girl, he then beats the fuck out.
He just grabs her head, and anything that he could smash her head off, he smashes her fucking head off.
Anything that has like a pointy end or looks like combustible, boom. So she just gets, again, annihilated. Your girl then like flails, runs through a glass window out into the pool where Rick's just chilling.
He's like, what the fuck?
And he just looks like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? And then she pops up flailing about, and he's like, Jesus Christ, so he gets out. And again, he had a great scene, and he walks in the shed, and you're like, right, is he going to hide? Like, what's... And he comes out with a flamethrower that he used in one of his earlier films, and just torches her. Like, I mean, like, proper...
she's barbecued.
She's like nothing but just like charcoal at this stage.
And then it's after that that's everything settles down, and we realise that this film is going to be another happy ending, I guess. Like Tarantino, he's had a way of doing things like that with his most recent films, like Inglourious Bastards. Changed history because World War II ended with the bastards killing Hitler in the theater, and then Django, sort of with Django's character, Jamie Foxx, taking revenge on all the friggin' dickheads. So that was sort of a happy ending for them, and then this is an alternate happy ending for...
it's like, the version of history which could have been.
The fairy tale ending.
Yeah, and then it ends with Sharon Tate. Well, your man comes down and asks Cliff. He's like, Rick. He's like, what the hell happened in there? Yeah.
Yeah. So, then he explains it. That's crazy. Do you want to come on? Or Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Goes on the intercom and she's like,
oh, hi, Rick. I'm your neighbour. Sharon's like, do you want to come up for a drink?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool, no worries.
And then that's it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure your wife is like traumatized in there. And he goes, she took enough sleeping pills. She'll be out for like
her and the dog were like asleep in the bed or something, and Cliff had to go to the hospital because he got a knife in his...
Yeah, like in his thigh or something.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Because he's like out of it and just sort of pokes it like...
Yeah.
And then passes out.
It's like, you've done your damage before you passed out, thank God.
Did well, so he did. I think it's also like a sort of thing with the whole sort of film is a stunt double does all the hard work. And then the actor comes out at the end and takes the glory.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of like an underlying theme there. Yeah. So, yeah.
Again, not my analogy when I had heard beforehand. I don't want to steal anybody else's words, so that's why I'm just making a point just then. It's not what...
No, I mean, take all the glory.
Because then somebody will be like, you got that from such and such.
No, I didn't.
No, that's my own thoughts in my own head.
You can't prove shit.
That's where I hear things I'm like, I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah, and I'll take that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, overall, out of 10, what would you give it?
I am giving it a solid... Ooh, part of me wants to say 9. I think I might give it because it was very enjoyable. I'm going to give it a 9.
Fair enough.
I'm going to give it a 9. Out of 10.
It's a solid 10 for me.
Yeah.
100%.
Fair enough.
It's the best thing I've seen this year.
That's fair. That is
fair. There has been some shit this year.
There really has.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen half of it, but what I have seen is mostly shit.
Yep. And I can't be biased and say Endgame because it's better because, well, that's just not fair.
Yeah.
It's like you knew Endgame was going to be as
but
big
then
as
I
it
still
was,
thought Thingy was better than Endgame.
Infinity War?
No, Spider-Man.
Far From Home. Yeah, that was really good.
More enjoyable, so it was.
Have you heard the news on that, by the way?
Oh.
Like, fuck me.
The news at 11 o'clock last night, I was like,
yeah,
what?
I was just like, no, please don't do this. Yeah, so basically, Sony and Marvel have failed to reach an agreement, and so...
Sony have pulled out the Marvel deal.
Yeah, so basically, we may never ever see the third Spider-Man film with Tom Holland.
And the way the last one ended, we need that other Spider-Man film.
Now, apparently there was 2 more still... like in production, or like he signed on to do or whatever, but it just won't have Marvel's input, so technically it won't be part of the MCU.
Yeah.
Which is then pointless in doing because it has to be.
Yeah, because
like you can't
he is part of it. You can't just ignore that.
Yeah, but no. So here we
go. I don't know.
Go.
I still feel like there will be an agreement before the next films come around because Spider-Man is not in Phase 4, which means there's a lot of time.
Yeah, true, actually, yeah.
So there is to get through it, and hopefully they will come to some sort of agreement, and we will continue to have Tom Holland Spider-Man, because to me...
he's the best one.
He is the best one, yeah.
And if you don't reach an agreement, and it gets another 10 years' time, the Fantabulous Spider-Man, I'm done. I'm not going to say it.
The Spectacular Spider-Man it'll probably be, or Spider-Man and his amazing friends, or some shit.
Yeah, it's like... Now, the Spider-Verse sequel, I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah, and that's cool, and that was really class. But yeah, if they reboot Spider-Man one more goddamn freaking time,
I think I'll give up on the character.
I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to be like, nope, because you haven't nailed Tom Holland. Just for the love of God, Sony, stop trying to be greedy bastards. Just make a deal.
It's actually not Sony, I don't think. It's Disney. They want like 70% of all the rights, and they want all merchandising. Rights and all. It's Disney that are the problem. It's
not... Sorry, Sony. I heart you. Sorry. I thought it was just you being pricks.
That's what I've read anyway. But then me reading that sort of stuff, I'm not an expert in anything. I don't know the ins and outs of the film industry. So
basically, don't trust a goddamn word we tell you.
No. I'm just putting across what I've read. And that's what I read.
And I just gave you some fake news. And just,
like, fuck you, Sony. Fuck you.
I would like to retract that statement, and I apologize sincerely. Yeah, there you go. It's a good thing you don't edit these out, because these are brilliant. James Lambast, Sony in recent video. Shit.
I'll just be like, one clip, fuck you. Sony, you greedy bastard.
Reminds me of that Scooby-Doo film, when like they edited it, so it's like, I think Coolsville sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Written by James Gunn, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Yeah, the first and second one.
Fuck.
Although I think his script was heavily edited. But I think he is down as like one of the writers for it.
Not surprised, to be fair, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
that was our discussion on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and also the Sony debacle with
Disney
over Spider-Man.
I can't think of any other recent news which I've heard, so.
No, I don't know.
Oh, but John Carpenter's going to be scoring the next 2 Halloween films.
Yeah, those next 2 Halloween films, the titles are fucking awful. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Like, fuck me. Who was off on holidays in the fucking creative department on that one?
We got some intern in or something. It was like, what about Halloween Kills? All right, you know what? Yeah. Yes. And then Halloween Ends, because it's going to be the end.
That's fantastic. He's not got to raise, that guy.
I wish they would leave it alone, because I was quite happy with the Halloween film that came out.
Yep. And again, it's like, why do you make it into a trilogy? Everything these days has to be sequels or trilogies. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah, like they ignored every other sequel of Halloween. They're like,
you're like
the first movie was great. Every other movie in the Halloween franchise was shit.
Yep.
But then they're like, nah, we'll just make our own franchise.
I like the Rob Zombie reboots, to be fair.
I liked the first one. I wasn't too keen on the second one because I felt like Rob Zombie just went up as a whole of self-indulgence.
Fair enough. In the first one, it's a bit like, it's weird, that scene where it's their daughter and like she's with the bagel.
Yeah.
And I was like, you wouldn't do that in front of your folks.
That's not the way you get on, no. That's some weird family shit going on
there.
Is
that like one of them fucking stepdad videos you find somewhere? Like, I don't know, they're about there. They're out there.
It's a bit taboo.
Yeah, I actually think it was Russell Howard on his like show that he does.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long ago it was, but he said it's something like some ridiculous percentage, like 70% of like adult videos watched now is all to do with like stepdad and stepsister and stuff, and it's like fucking hell, guys.
All right then.
It's like whatever you're into.
That's just an excuse that you're telling me that you watched on a Russell Howard show. That's just your search history.
Russell Howard. I don't mind him.
You don't mind him?
He's
would you fuck him?
Okay. Well, no, Jesus. No. Russell Howard nudes.
Anyway, right, before we get any further into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're never crawling back out of it.
No.
Basically, don't look up weird shit, okay, guys? It's not cool.
Yeah, if you have a stepsister or stepdad, leave them alone. You fucking weirdos. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's really good.
Yeah, it's a great
Go check it out.
Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be back next time now, but here's hoping.
Bye.
See ya.